Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the latest on Ansu Fati and his injury, and then later in the video we are going to be talking about the future of Pjanic, Philippe Coutinho, and where De Ligt does stand in the transfer market. Can Barcelona actually complete a transfer regarding De Ligt in this coming summer? And then lastly we're going to be talking about Gerard Pique reaching a salary agreement with Joan Laporta. All of this is going to be discussed within today's daily news, but before we do get into today's daily news, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is considered as the best football app you could find in the App Store when it comes to the latest player stats, the latest team stats, and what's currently going on in the football world. The OneFootball app will be there to inform you immediately and live. So if you guys do want to get informed immediately about your favorite team or your favorite national team, go down into the link in my description box. You'll be able to click the link. It will take you straight to the App Store. You will be able to download it. After you do download the OneFootball app, you can pick your desired team, turn on the push notifications, and then you'll be all set and done from there. But now let's get back into the video. So first we are going to be talking about Ansu Fati, and it is some great and exciting news when it comes to this player, because it says here, according to Luis Rojo, Ansu Fati is now feeling great again and aims to regain the form that he had before he did get injured. He will be ready to take part in the preseason with his teammates. He'll train alone at first, but gradually get more involved with the group, and that is going to be the goal, right? The number one goal that Ansu Fati is going to be going for. Ansu Fati needs to be at that level that he was at 12 to 13 months ago. A player that will always be available for his players on the field. A player that will kill you on tight and open spaces, and a player that does have an instinct for goal. That is the Ansu Fati that many of us do want to see. So he does have a mountain to climb. But as for now, the injury that he once had does no longer exist. And you better bet that Ronald Koeman is going to be working with Ansu Fati very early in the preseason, because it says here, according to Moises Llorens, Ronald Koeman has already started planning for next season, and today he was at the training ground, and in 10 days the preseason does begin. So they will be working on how they are going to be tackling the next season, what's going to be Ansu Fati's role, how can they get the best out of this player when it comes to being very efficient and effective on the field. It is going to be a great thing to see. And just to give you guys a brief timeline on what Ansu Fati is going to be doing for the next 2 or 3 months, Ansu Fati is going to be training alone for the next 10 days, and then once the preseason does start, after the Euros and the Copa America is over, that is when he will be joining the training sessions with his teammates. So he will be alongside Frankie de Jong, Memphis Depay, Gerard Pique, Antoine Griezmann. I do not know if he's going to be with Lionel Messi or Pedri or Jordi Alba, because they will be resting after finishing their tournaments that they are currently in. And then after that, we should expect to see Ansu Fati fully start on the field by the time we do hit the month of September or October. Moving on towards the next topic of today, and we are going to be talking about De Ligt, Pjanic, and Philippe Coutinho. So this is going to consist of many players, and I'm going to try my very best to clear everything out regarding these three players and their future with Barcelona, because I think that there is a lot of confusion going on what their situation is like at this very moment. But starting with Pjanic, and it says here, according to Fernando Polo, Pjanic knows that he must leave this summer, and although he does like a return to Juventus very much, he's also open to other offers. So look, this is true. Pjanic is going to be a player that Barcelona do want to sell, no doubt. Many are assuming that Barcelona are going to be in heavy negotiations with Juventus in the coming summer, because we have talked about before that there is many potential deals that could be made. There's a lot of players that Barcelona have that Juventus does like, and I'm going to be explaining later what I do mean by this. But now let's move on to Philippe Coutinho, and it says here, according to Fernando Polo, Barcelona wants a transfer or a swap deal for Coutinho, but are waiting for him to recover so that the interested teams know that he is fully fit. So just like Pjanic, Philippe Coutinho is a player that Barcelona do want to sell. There is no way that Coutinho is going to be continuing with this club. We know that if Coutinho plays 10 more games with Barcelona, Barcelona is going to have to pay Liverpool 18 to 20 million euros only because there is a clause within his contract. And there are other players on the field that Barcelona do want to develop, which is players like Moriba, Ricky Puig, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, and many other great interior players. But besides that, right, like I have said before, we have discussed many times that there could be potentially a swap deal between Barcelona and Juventus, because there is players that Juventus does like. There could have been a potential swap deal of Coutinho going into Juventus to get a player back, or Pjanic going to Juventus to get a player back, or maybe even Dembele, which Juventus does highly admire, only to get a player back. We have talked about all of this before, and the one player that Barcelona do highly admire, it is De Ligt. But this is what I'm here to clear out, because it says here, according to Fabrizio Romano, De Ligt will remain at Juventus 100%. There is nothing between Barcelona and Juventus as of now, and that is it, right? because De Ligt is not going to be accessible or available on the market for Barcelona, this is going to be ruling off any move or swap deal that Barcelona could have been making with Juventus. And that is going to lead us towards three conclusions. Number one, Coutinho and Pjanic are not going to be included in any swap deal because there is no player that Barcelona do want but De Ligt. I do see players like Pjanic and Coutinho being sold for a transfer fee. Moving on to point number two, when it comes to Dembele and Antoine Griezmann, who are two players that Juventus did admire, because De Ligt will not be available, we have also heard on top of that Barcelona have offered Dembele a 4-year contract with a 50% wage cut. They do want to keep Dembele. As for Antoine Griezmann, Barcelona have stated, and we have talked about this in the previous video, Barcelona do not mind keeping Antoine Griezmann for the next season unless a club comes to Barcelona and says, we want to offer you guys 66 to 70 million euros, which basically means they would only accept a very good and strong offer for Griezmann. Anything less than that, Barcelona would rather keep Antoine Griezmann. They are in no rush to sell this player. And then moving on to point number three, it's going to be very difficult to actually sell Pjanic and Philippe Coutinho because these are two players who do have very high wages. But that is it, right? That is what's currently going on with many of these players. And it's very fascinating, but also very strange to hear this because now that we know the full context on where these players are at, and with Barcelona, Joan Laporta has also said that he is planning on making 3 to 4 more signings. And I do not know how that's going to be made. I don't know who is that going to be consisting of, but eventually we are going to be finding out. But right now it does seem very, very difficult for Joan Laporta and Mateo Aleman. And now I do want to move on towards the last topic, and we are going to be talking about Gerard Pique. So just like Sergio Busquets, right? We have heard before that Busquets has been offered a 2-year contract extension with a 50% wage cut, and Busquets is more than ready to accept this deal because he knows himself that this is going to greatly benefit and help Barcelona on a financial level. So when it does come to Gerard Pique, it says here that Pique has reached an agreement with Barcelona to make part of his salary more flexible. The central defender understands the fragile economic situation of the club, and he has been willing to postpone some of his payments. And I really want us to notice something here. Notice how the captains of Barcelona, which is right now Sergio Roberto, Gerard Pique, Sergio Busquets, and Lionel Messi, many of these captains are leading by example by taking these wage cuts to help the club. These players are more than willing to accept any delayed wages or wage cuts in order to help FC Barcelona. And let me tell you, this is a huge deal because we have heard many players actually getting offered a brand new contract, but they have yet to respond. And right now we are witnessing Busquets and Gerard Pique, who are veterans, who are captains, who have been told that they are not as important as they used to be, actually taking the wage cuts and continuing with FC Barcelona. They are showing the steps that many of the players in the squad should be or will be taking. And if you guys are asking, why is Barcelona so strict on making these wage cuts on veteran players or other players around the squad? Why is Joan Laporta wanting to do this? Well, it is because Javier Tebas, who is the president of La Liga, he has stated that he recommends Barcelona to cut half of their wage bill. And a couple of months ago, before the pandemic, Barcelona had a wage bill of 625 million euros. That is my estimate. I do not know if that's the exact number, but it was around 625 to 635 or maybe even 650 million euros when it came to the wage bill. Javier Tebas has said that Barcelona is going to be needing to drastically cut the wage bill to at least 300 million euros. That is going to be the wage bill and the salary cap that Barcelona is going to be having for the next season. They cannot exceed 300 million euros in terms of wages. But I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see that the captains of Barcelona are leading by example. I do expect many other players to follow in order to strengthen this club in the future. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.